Well, the voltages look a lot better.
Kind of the system that's in place where, you know, our African Americans and minorities.
Well, I'm going to give it some thought, but I'm afraid it might be the IF transformers, because sometimes they'll let it through, sometimes it doesn't, and then once the static and crashing starts, you know, you can't hear anything. So these type are susceptible to silver mica disease. That might be what this is. So I'm going to give it some thought. I'm probably just going to go ahead and call it a night, but maybe I can check some things with a signal tracer. But I think basically we pretty much outlined that's what the problem is. Okay guys, let's get back into this late 50s GE875. So here's to you if you're still with me on this one. So we went through and we have done a number of things on here. You can check the list of where we are and things that we've addressed. And as you heard last time, I mean, there's just this tremendous amount of static crashing in here, and I know that that is very likely to be silver mica disease. I've just been trying to address other issues to see if maybe it would eliminate a noisy component, other issues that I know probably had a problem, so I tried working on those, but I just went through, checked voltages. You know, it's just delaying action now. So I thought we would start looking a little bit more at that, the IF cans. One of the things I noticed when I had this turned on is that I could pick up really a lot better signal by touching this. And I know sometimes that always happens, sometimes it shouldn't happen. I don't know, it could be just, you know, one of those things. One of the things I got to wondering though is I wonder if maybe somebody got in here and did the screwdriver trick on this. So let's see. What I'm thinking of is, you know, maybe somebody found some screws and like on the back of the tuning condenser and thought, well, these are loose. You don't suppose anybody's tightened these things down, do you? So I grabbed my screwdriver here. I haven't checked this. Let's just see. This is the oscillator and this is the antenna. You can tell by the number of vanes on the banana slicer in there. Let's just see if this will tighten down any. Am I in there? Yeah, it will. Okay, good to see. Somebody hasn't just gotten in there and tightened it down. I'll put it back about where it was. Okay, so now let's look at the IF cans on this thing. Okay, the way these things are, I'm going to take some of these leads off of here. Power's off. Get some of this out of the way. Another thing I was noticing is, you remember I was talking about this thing being an example of a hot chassis. Well, you know what? This thing didn't even really have a chassis. So really what that was is this Bumblebee would be more of like an across the line cap. It doesn't go to like the ground of a chassis that would be shielding this thing. This is really across the line for noise suppression in and out of this unit. So I'll take this off eventually and replace this probably with an X-type safety capacitor for across the line. I don't really need to do that now because I'm just applying power with an isolation transformer, so there's no noise getting in and there's no noise going out. So I don't need to worry about that right now, but I will later. I've also been wondering if these capacitors that look like resistors, I've been wondering if these guys might be a little flaky, but I don't know. I think the crashing is the IF cans, and I've been putting off the inevitable too long. So somebody may say, why are you doing this for such a, you know, a radio like this? It's not exactly a collector's item, right? Well, you know, it makes it a good one to play with, doesn't it? So let's just do it. Okay, so this type of can has like a clip on one side. So let's just see if we can get in there and open that up and see if that can will just slip off. Get my eyeballs on so we can see what I'm doing. Yeah, that wants to lift up. See, I got something better to do it with. You're probably wondering, is this the first IF or the second IF? I forgot to look. I'll look in a minute. I'm going to guess it's the first because it's between the converter and the IF transformer. Okay, that's up. Will this just come off? Seems to be the hold up here, kids. Let's see if we can break it, huh? Well, it doesn't really want to come up. Oh, there's another clip on the underside, it looks like. Can I get to it? I don't think so. Yeah, there's like a little thing right here they have to bend up. So I think I've got that one out of the way. Yeah. No, I'm just trying to open this up without unsoldering it from the board, which is what I should do. So we can get in there and do it without damaging the oscillator coil. Here we go. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? All right. First look. All right, we are in on this guy. Can you see that all right? The wires off this audio transformer are really stiff. Okay. So yeah, this is one of those ones that are kind of... Okay, you can see the wires right here, if you can see that. A little... I don't think you can see it. There it is. You can see how small that hair wire is. There's another one here that goes up to the upper coil. We've got a dead bug right here. How about if I evict him? Let go. You don't suppose he was the one messing up everything, do you? I don't think so. Okay. Leg's gone. It looks like there's a wire here that's twisted together and soldered. You can see that. This must have been broken. Maybe when it was new, maybe a repair person did that. I don't know. Okay, let's see if I've got a wire to each terminal here. I'm hoping you can see this. This terminal has a wire to it. This one does too. Yep, that one's got one runs down along behind, and this one does as well. Okay, so the capacitor in here, for those of you who don't know, is in here. So we've got this plastic stuff that they've just simply melted over the top of this, and then underneath this plate there'll be a capacitor in here. Now what I'd like to be able to do is measure the capacitance of what's there before I disturb it. In order to do that, I'd need to disconnect some of these wires and then rewire them. that is going to be, for me, very difficult to do. Sometimes I wonder about this wire. Okay. That one may have been pulled off before at another time because it's been twisted and soldered here and here. And inside there you can see the slug for turning the inductor. Maybe you can see, there it is. And then there's another one that you can get at from the bottom, which is down here. See that hole there. Okay. Okay, so is it better to leave it in or take it out? It's one of the problems with working on printed circuit boards as opposed to point-to-point wiring is that, man, if you get in here with too much heat, you can destroy these traces like somebody else did when they tried to get this pod out. They destroyed these traces here and even ate up part of the board. So I'm kind of trying to avoid doing that if I can, but I may need to. So I need to get that one out, that one out. The ground can stay, the shield can stay. That one back there I can't even hardly see. Okay, so the question is, can I get in there and measure the capacitance on these things? So let's see. This wire goes to the top coil, and this wire here goes to the top coil as well. So these two have a capacitor in between them. So if I can lift one of these traces, I can try to measure the capacitance between there. I guess I could try to lift this one or separate this one since it's already been worked on, and we'll just see if I get lucky. Okay, and it's one I can get to relatively easily. This one back in here, you know, heck, I'm going to have to pull that one out. I can't get into there. Yeah. I'd like to be able to repair it, you know, in place like this for a couple of reasons. One of them is so I don't risk damaging the printed circuit board, you know, pulling a trace up with too much heat. I do have some temperature control on my irons, so that may help. The other reason is that I'd like to use a technique I've seen like Shango and others use where they put a variable capacitor on here and then see if I can get this tuned in without having moved the slugs first, and then that'll maybe hopefully get the capacitance right. I'd like to measure this first to see if I'm even in the ballpark, you know, to help maybe get the capacitor set nearly what I can get set for. Okay then, yeah, let me get rigged up and I'll see if I can lift this connection right here, and we'll see what we can get. Okay, wish me luck. We're going to try to go in and desolder right in there. If I can get this to focus, that'd be nice. You guys can see what I'm talking about. Right in there. I got something I can put behind there. There you go. I'm going to try to desolder right in here. Okay, so that's about the best I can do. Let's just see what we get. I don't want the solder to get where that thing was spliced, because I don't want that splice to come apart, I don't think. that may be where it's going to come off anyway. Yeah, I think its splice is going to come apart anyway. It's just barely twisted on there. You guys keeping your fingers crossed for me? Can you see what's happening? A little bit? Maybe? Hey, Fix, isn't that nerve-wracking? Yeah, a little bit. It's all part of the fun, man, right? Wish I had the steady hands and eyesight I had when I was in my 20s or teens. I know this is driving you guys crazy, but you might want to try this someday and say, hey, I did better than him. I notice a lot of guys when they do this, they bring you back after they've got it done. Well, I got that all undone and wound it back up. Yeah, it was hard to do. I was careful. Well, that's loose. There was a couple of wraps there. Can you see it? There may still be more wire on that post, but that's okay. Okay. Let's see what else is left on here. Okay, I don't feel any other wire on there. I guess we got it all off. Okay. Can you see that okay? Right there. The wire that was on there is off. It's kind of draped across that shield contact point. So I'm going to get this out for you. So there's the wire loose, right there. Okay, now that I've got that loose, I can now check the capacitance between here and here, because the wire that's connected to this one also goes up to this top coil. So we know that these are the two that are together. And so I'll check capacitance from here to here and see what we get. It's not on the schematic, so let's just see what we can measure. Yeah, I thought the one that had a case on it And I know the battery is supposed to go in the case, but I always take the battery off when I store this so I don't have a battery damage. How many things have we all lost to the leaky batteries, right? Let me back you up some. Alright. So what we want to do is we want to check between these two posts. So I'll pick one of them up right here. God, it's awful not be able to see. Let's see here. That seems to be my problem. Don't answer that. Okay, there's one of them. And then get another one here. Okay, this would be between pins 1 and 2 on this little M tester. And the other one I want to go to, okay, I'm not going to grab next to that wire. I'm going to grab it down here. Come on. Okay, so that is checking between, not that that matters, let's see if I can get that away. Okay, that's checking between these two, and like I say, this one I can see that wire goes up to the same coil that this one did, so that's the right one to check. Alright, let's see what we get. "100 picofarads with 16 ohms of ESR." Okay, 100 picofarads. Well, that's convenient. You think they're all 100? I don't know. Test it again. 100 picofarads. Okay, we know what that one is. Okay, and tried to save you the holding your breath, but there I got the other wire off that goes to the lower coil, so now we can check the capacitance of the capacitor inside this IF can for this other set, for the lower pair. So let me get on that. I need to make sure I need to get this wire off of here. Okay, it's off. Alright, let's see if we can rig up a test for that one as well. Okay. The other one goes so I can get onto here without damaging something. That one goes back here. Okay. Back you up. So the top coil is 100 picofarads. Let's see what we get on the bottom coil. I think it's the same. Place your bets. 110. Interesting. Make sure that wire is not touching. Let's see here. Yeah, it is not touching. Test again. 112. All right, so the top coil is reading 100 picofarads. The one on the bottom is reading 110-ish. All right. So now what I'm going to do is compare part numbers to see if those two IF cans are the same part number. So bear with me a second. Okay, so looking in the SAMs, the schematic comes from the SAMs. So those two coils are L3 and L4. L3, L4. Which one of these is top and bottom, I don't know yet. I'll check. But L3 and L4, if we go to the parts list, and by the way, the one I was working on, they're calling L3. Sorry. The one up in the corner is L3. The one that's buried down inside is this one. Where they have it, there it is, L4. Okay, so L3, and if we go to L3 in the parts list, okay, so go to the coils. If you look at L3 and L4, right down here, you'll see the GE part number, RTL 183, is the same for both of them. Also the same for Meissner and Merritt and the others. So Miller is a slightly different one, isn't it? Looks like. And the Merritt is slightly different. The GE numbers are the same. There we go. The GE part number is the same. RTL 183. Merritt is different. So is Miller. Interesting. Okay, so they're the same, but I don't know which coil is which. L3 is this first IF can, right? It says L3 right there. So let's see. One of these wires will go to the plate of the converter, or it'll go down to an oscillator coil, or it'll go over here. Let me just see which one comes from the plate of converter, which is pin 5 on the converter tube. I should be able to spot that relatively easy. Let's back up. Okay, so the converter tube is this one. Pin 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's this one here. That one here runs over to this lug right here, so this is connected to the plate of the converter tube. So that one was connected to the top. So the top one is the first coil, and the bottom one would be the second one. All right. Next thing to do is just dig those caps out. Yeah, before I go much further, I want to make a mark. So we found out that the top one is this first coil on the left of the first IF can, and we measured 100 picofarads for that cap. So I'm going to make a note on here. That was 100 picofarads, and this other one measured about 110. Okay, so we got that recorded, and we'll see where we go from next. We'll see how much of this I can do without taking the taking this off the board, because the board makes it a little easier to handle. I won't be so lucky on the other one. Okay, let's break into this thing and see if this is where the problem lies. I wish I could use the noise function on my signal tracer, but my concern is the voltage is too high, so I don't want to burn these wires up. I could be wrong about that, but I'll try that out someday on one of my wrecked IF cans, but this one's in decent shape. I don't want to destroy it. Well, I say it's decent shape. I may be destroying this one soon. One of the things I did, just in case I wanted to take it out or whatever, I put a mark here on the PC board. I also put a black band around that lug, as you can see, in case this did come out and know how it goes back in. And then if you can see, I also put a black mark on the tube here that the IF slug runs in. And that's in case, you know, the tube falls out or something. I have it lined up with where it's supposed to go. And I also know it's at the top. So anyway, just try not to be too reckless with it. All right. He says right before he starts breaking away bits of plastic and destroying this. So wish me luck again, and we'll see what we can get here. It's coming off pretty easy, guys. This one doesn't crumble so easily. And you know, hey, I'm trying to take it easy. I can always get a little rougher with it if I need to, but I'm trying to see if it'll just jump off of there for me without having to put too much meanness on it, but it looks like I have to be a little bit meaner. All right. Actually, that looks like that's enough to be able to get that piece of phenolic out. So we go on the other side. Just have to be patient doing this. I'm cutting it across this way because I think the capacitors are running in the other direction. I think they're running here and here. I think I cut all the way through to the center tube. And we'll see what we get on this side. Okay. Here you can see the mica. And yeah, I see blackness on it. That tarnish. Alright. Can't lift this one out yet. Nope. I'm a little bit worried about this center tube. I'm not sure if it's going to stay like it's supposed to or not. Also try not to break the other wires that aren't desoldered. And there's the top of one of the capacitors.
I'd like to break this. It'll make it a little easier to get it out. It's the thinking. Maybe. Okay. There's still a wire hooked up to this terminal right here. I'm trying not to break it. So one of the things that I was preparing for was to hook up some variable capacitors on this, and using that to verify, or maybe to find out, what capacitance values I'm supposed to have here so I can replace them. Since I was able to get a reading, I think I'm probably good to go with those. There we go. Last bit out. Some more shards of it down here. But since I was able to get decent readings, I mean, maybe I'll just, replace these and then see how that works. I'm not sure how good I'll be able to do the variable capacitors anyway. I wasn't able to find some that I liked. So, anyway. Alright, so here, get a few of these wires out of the way. It was nice to leave this attached to the board so I can handle it. So now what we want to do is get these two capacitors out of here. So what I'm going to do is lift. What it is you got two leaves that are folded over. Sorry, you got two leaves that are folded over like this on each other with a mica wafer in between, and of course the capacitance is between those two plates. What I'm going to do is pull both those plates up, cut them to where they're no longer near each other, and then yank that piece of mica out of there. All right, so if you can see what I'm doing, yep. There's one leaf. It's pretty stiff. So the idea is just to get that out of there. I'm going to break it or cut it. I don't want to take the whole thing out because it's part of what's holding the tension, if you will, on that lug. And so I want it to stay to hold that lug secure. Okay, now I've got that pulled up. I'm going to see if I can cut it off. So the lug's kind of in the way. Okay. So I can get in there and cut that short enough. Get this little thing out of here. Okay. Trying to figure out the best angle. And I'm going to have to use some different side cutters that maybe have a little more ump to them. Let's try these, these might be sharper. Okay, I've got eye protection on here if this jumps off of here. Dang it. Okay, I didn't break it. Well, that didn't break it either. All right, we're going to have to get that off of there. Let's try our old friend fatigue. There we go. Cold work and fatigue comes through. Okay, so we got one of them pushed up a bit. I'll get the other one up. All right, this wire. Kind of wanted to be in the way, but I think I got it out of the way now. Okay, got it started. This is nerve-wracking work, guys. Like I say, I don't normally see people video this. I can see why. People are probably sitting there at home looking at the screen saying, gee whiz, man. How hard could that be? Now, how would I know somebody would think that? Okay. Yeah, that other IF can is just going to have to come out because I can't possibly do that inside of all this. Okay, can I get the mica sheet out yet? All right. The mica sheets are out. Now, why don't we get to where we can look at them? You can see where the voltages are kind of discolored at some around the edges, like around, like in here. And then this is just black on here. Let me see, that'll scrape off. Oh no, here's the other side. Yeah. Yeah, you can see it flaking off, see? So, I guess that's our silver mica disease going on right in here, huh? get back onto this. I need to remove these other leaves that are in here without destroying the rest of this IF can. Let's see. Alright, I want to get the other ones out too. So I'll bring you back when I get all that done. Okay, well it's like doing a root canal, but I got those out of there. So what you're looking at is this capacitor right here. It's been separated. The two leaves are separated. I cut them off. Be shorter. There's one there. The other one is here. It's lifted up a little bit, but it won't be in the way. I don't want it getting close to touching that. And then the other two are back here. Like I said, I've got them kind of shoved down a little bit, so they'll be out of the way of the shell that goes around this for shielding. Okay, I need to resolder these wires onto here, and then put the can back on, and then put the capacitors in the bottom and see how that one does. I'm not going to try to adjust the slugs on this one yet. Well, I guess I probably could. Alright, so let's see if I can get those wires soldered back on. Need more luck again, guys. Let's see if we can do it. Can you see anything? Maybe. Alright, this one here. Let's see, I need to change my angle. I want to pause you. Okay, so I got that one soldered back on, and then I checked resistance between the two posts that are on either side of that coil and measured 20 ohms. On the schematic it shows 19 ohms, so I'll call that a win. Also verified I have no connection between these two, so when I put this together I know I'm not got other parts in the circuit. So let's get onto that and see if we can get that one on there. Like I say, I'm not sure that was a good idea to leave it attached to the circuit board, but since the other one can't stay attached to do this, I'll find out then. It'd be interesting to see how this thing works with one of these fixed but the other one not. I don't expect it to sound much different, to be honest, because I think they're both going to have the same issue, whatever it was. God, these things are always in the way. Let me see if I can get this thing to kind of wrap around this post here. The other one was still kind of in a loop, so I was able to push that loop back onto the post and then soldered it in place. This one though kind of came undone when I put it on. Hope you guys can see something. I can't tell if you can see something or not. This is kind of like doing suturing, where there's kind of a science to how you grasp it with your tweezers. There we go. Good. Got it wrapped around. Okay, that's on there mechanically. Let's see if you can see that. Probably not. Maybe easier to move this than move the camera. What do you think? All right. So that wire is right there. So let me put some solder on that. Don't want to get too hot because I've got another soldered connection right above here where there was an earlier repair, and I don't want that to come loose. Okay. That looks pretty solid to me. Okay. Let's back up, see if we got continuity. Wrong way. All right. Alright, so like I said, the schematic shows 19 ohms for both of them. So let's see, between this one and this one, that's the one we just did, 19.8 ohms. And then the other two, 20.2 ohms. Okay. Looks like those are soldered together okay. Okay. So now what I need to do is I can go ahead and put the can back on, because what I'm going to do is attach the replacement capacitors to the underside down here and dig around for the right size, see if I got them. I can go ahead and put the can back on. I'll just do it. So let's see. So the way this was is this thing kind of went down and these little tangs bent underneath the red bit, and then on one side one of them kind of came up and popped into that, and that made the continuity to the shield. I guess it doesn't matter which way I go. Alright, so here we go. Let's put this back on. Probably never to be opened again. Let's hope. Okay. It's down. Not quite down all the way on this side. Okay. So what's happening here is a little bent up tang that goes underneath the bottom of this is interfering with the clip. Okay. That's in there. All right, so let me see if we got the right size capacitors. Okay, so what I've got is I've got some 110s and I've got some 50s. I've also got like some 200s and 250s and 300s and 500s and all of that. But in terms of 100, the closest I could get would either be put a couple of these in parallel, not parallel, in parallel, and get 100. But here's 110. I may just try the 110s and see if that'll get me close enough on the tuning inductors. We'll just see. So anyway, let me try these first, and we'll see how that goes. And then if not, I'll have to find some 100s. I don't want to pile up a bunch of 50s in there. It'd be kind of silly. Okay, I'm going to get that set up and then bring it back afterwards. Okay, so here was a pair between here and here. That was what what, the upper pair, and then the other pair were back here, here and here. So I've got them marked. I put one set of hash marks for that set, and then these have double hash marks. All right, so I'm going to do one at a time. I'm going to see if I can open that hole up so I can get a way to get a hook this capacitor into there. So let me see if we can open this up a little bit. Good, that gives me a hole. So C, 110, these should be 111, right? 111. 111J. All right, so let's see here. How do we want to do this? This is going to be inside the case, kind of up flat. I got this much clearance though, but I'm going to want to lay it down, probably about like that. So what I need to do is do a little forming here. Maybe? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to be laying kind of close to that of the pad there. I'm just going to take it a little bit safe here and put a bit of insulation over that. Probably don't really need it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. Looks good. That one looks good. All right. Is it beautiful? No. Did you expect to see beautiful? No. Will only beautiful work? No. Is it practical? Yeah. Then I've done my job, right? Okay, so there's one I'm in. And it's stood up off the board a little bit, so it's not touching. And yeah, I probably didn't need the sleeves on it, but because I had that big pad underneath there, I didn't want to risk it touching, but as you can see, it's nowhere near it. Okay, get the other one in. Same process. I won't make you watch it. Okay, I got the other one soldered in now as well. I couldn't lay it down like I did this other one, because if I did, it would block the tuning port for the lower tuning slug location. And I couldn't flip it up the other way because there's the tang sticking up. That's the clip here for this. It was in the way. So I kind of bent that back a little bit, folded this back, and I double checked to make sure I had clearance, because here's one of the screws that goes against a boss, and I verified that that standing up there would fit. It's a close call, but it'll fit. So if I need to, I can bend that tang down further and push that over like that. Okay, so those are both in. I'm tempted to try to see how this thing works. Let's just see if we hear any difference. I don't think we're going to hear any difference, because I think they're both bad, and we won't be able to tell it's only half as bad as it was. So, but it'll be tempting to see if it still works, to see if, if something's not working at all now, then I'll know it was this one that I screwed up, and not, I wonder which one I screwed up. So it's usually a good practice to test everything every time you do something to see if you made it worse. Okay, that tube's back in. Let me get this set up to turn it back on. I'll bring it back. I got to get the case back up here and hook up the speaker. Volume's on. And let's see, speaker leads are connected, power leads connected. Turning on the voltage a little bit on the variac. That's on. And we'll just see if the thing still does at least as good as it did before. Then I'll know I didn't damage it, and then I can go into the other transformer. So dim bulb is still dim. I'm pulling 17 watts. Turn up the voltage. Looking right here, right? Okay. Conducting better. It's 22 watts. Okay. I don't hear anything. Did I break it? Let's get our tuner on here. We'll do the countdown for how long it takes for the other one to start crashing.
That's what he's doing so well that he hasn't been doing in the past, making open looks. And with his mark, first half up 5, 16-11, 12 minutes, 45 seconds for any first half. Marcus Carr, the Courtney Rainey on the right side. Flips it up top.
I'm hearing stations in there. Need to probably clean up the tuner a little bit. It's a little stiff. Well, we know it was working okay because we were hearing a station come through, so I didn't break it. Well, for a brief moment, everything was sounding pretty good. It probably needed to be tuned in, but I was getting some stations through. You could hear as I was moving through the band areas where I was starting to get a signal, and so that was a happy moment. And then I think the other one started acting up, and then we lost everything. So I'll turn it back on, see if that helped it, and then see if we can get these stations back, and then see if it starts crashing again like it did before. The good news is since I was picking up stations, I know that this is still functioning now. Okay, the crashing went away. Starting to be able to pick up stations now. Something there. Hear it? So that could be IF alignment. Since I changed these capacitors out, those slugs are now not in the right place. But I can adjust those in. But I know that when the crashing starts, then it's that other silver mica disease and that other IF. But the good news is, means it's working. This filter is getting the signal through. Once the crashing starts, then that'll be the end of that.
From everything else.
if 38 states have to ratify. Moreover, a runaway convention, I guess people aren't court system or they have a runaway convention. It never stops running away. It never stops changing our constitutional system. And these Republicans in these state capitals, many of them, these Republican leaders are very comfortable with what's taking place. The McConnells and a lot of the state capitals. They're perfectly fine with whining and complaining and complaining about the left, about Washington, everything. And when they're running the road, they really don't want to change it. I want to carry you over if I may, but this is...
Okay, let's go after that other IF can and get it fixed. Okay, the other IF can is here. Can I get it out of there without that darn shield in the way? The answer is maybe. Maybe not. I may need to take that shield off. That's a joy. Let me get these other sockets loose. We'll see how we stand. Alright, so we're looking where? Here. Pain. I'll just go after that thing with just a solder iron. Okay, I need to mark this can first. Okay, so I'm going to mark, here's that shield clamp that's here. I'm going to mark here. Okay, so that's the corner that's next to the clip. And the clip is right there, as you can see. So that corresponds with this corner on the can. Okay, and I'll transfer that mark after I get the can off of here. Alright, let's see if we can get the can loose. This may take some work. Okay, it's not going to work doing it that way because I got that clamp holding it. And it's attached to the board, so I need to get it loose. Okay, that's loose. I need to go in with some solder wick, I think. It's out at last. Okay, so where's my mark? Okay, nobody panic. I think that's it right there. Let's see, does that make sense? If that was in that location, then no, that doesn't make sense. It either needs to be like this or like that. Dang. I see some scratch marks here. I don't see any scratch marks here, so I believe this was in there like this. And if that's the case, then the paint mark would be, yeah, that's right. That's where it is, right there. Okay. Let's make that a little bit easier to see. What do you think? There and there, where it's not on the corner, easy to get rubbed off, okay? Okay. I think you can see there's just a trace of it there on the corner. Okay. So that means where that dot is, like this, it's going to be that one right there. Okay. So that one was like that. Okay. Now let's get this thing open. Get the rest of the radio out of the way. Zoom in. I don't know if I use this footage or not. It might be better than the other one, so I'm going to record it anyway. I mean, now that I've got it out of there, this may be easier to work on. I don't know. Maybe. That's out of the way. This is the one that had been by the clip. I'm going to put some marks on it here. Okay. Now this one. Do you think anybody expected these things would still be working 50-something years later? Nah. Okay. Got it marked. Let's pull her out. A bit tight. Right there. Okay. Sorry, guys. Got another dead bug in there. Gee whiz. Bugs like to crawl inside of radios, I guess, don't they? Okay. And another bug there. All right, well, let's just get these guys out of here. One. You don't suppose it was the bug gut shortening out the caps, do you? Nah. That looks like debris from a soldering operation. So there's our IF transformer inmates liberated. Okay. Let's see what we have here. That one goes to the top and this one goes to the top. So these two are a capacitor together. And then those two. And like I say, this looks like a bit of an old solder job. Alright, so there's a cap here, a cap here. We'll get the lift a lead on each of those, and then we'll measure the capacitance and see if they're also 110, 110. Alright, so let's see here. I had this one marked, so the one that's marked goes to the lower coil. Alright, so the one that was marked, this corner, goes to the lower coil. Alright. Alright. Marked. And it goes to the lower coil. Okay, I want to get some way to hold this since I don't have it attached to a chassis, and get lifting those leads off. I don't like this blob of junk that's on this one, so I'm gonna lift this lead here to give me an opportunity to clean that up. There, I just got it off there. Alright, so let's see if I can just shuffle that loop off of here like I did that other one. It made it a lot easier going back on. There we go. That's one of them loose. Yeah, you can see that. Hey, great. All right. Let's back up and measure its capacitance. Wrong way again. Okay. All right, so I've got, this is the lower coil, and I've got one of the leads lifted. So let's see what we see. "87 picofarads. Well, that's convenient. Not. I don't have an 87 pico. Actually, I've got a 50. 88. Well, that's, it is what it is. It was the same part number on the RCA manual, but the other IF transformer part numbers were a little bit different. That's measuring 88. Okay, let's see what we get on the other side. So once again, that was the one that ties to the side that I had marked, which is this marked point right here. So that marked point, let me look on the board and see if I can identify where that goes. So on the circuit board, that was this point right here. And that goes to that. Which goes to our friend the 2.2 meg, huh? 2.2 meg that we first replaced. Or the other one, the only one we replaced. Okay. So that 2.2 is the one over by the AVC circuit, if I remember right. So here's the 2.2. So that would mean that's this leg right here. I'm gonna put a spot on that. So that right there is where we were connected. And the other one was here, right? Because it was connected to the converter tube. Okay. So that one here goes and connects to the 2.2 meg, which is the one that we replaced. The one we did not replace is this one. And it also would connect to pin 3 on the couplet. I don't know if we can see that or not. Let's see, it might be a circuit trace on top. Pin 3, the couplet. Where the hell's couplet? Couplet is here. Pin 3 is underneath. Oh yeah, it gets into this mess. Okay, pin 3 is this one right here. Connects into this mess, comes over here, goes underneath this pad and comes out and does go to that point right there. So it goes What a mess. So this is pin 3 right here of the couplet. All right. It goes out of there, goes in where all these traces got screwed up when this was changed. This must have been a different diameter too, because that's why they had to glue the knob on. And then it looks like it goes underneath here, comes out over here, and goes to this point right here. Let me just check continuity on it. I bet you that's right. Okay. So that's the point in question, and lead 3 is this one. Yep. Okay. So that confirms that that point goes to point 3 on the couplet right there. It also goes to the 2.2. So that one right there measured, what did I say, 88? 88 picofarads. We'll do it again, because I forgot. That's why I want to write it down. .88 picofarads. Okay, so that one there is 88 picofarads. And grab my pencil, and I'll write that down. So this one here measured 88 picofarads. Okay. Now let's lift a lead on the other one. Doesn't matter which one I want to do. Needs to be either that one or this one. Yeah, I'll do that one. I didn't mean to no longer ask y'all to wish me luck. It's starting to sound like I'm getting cocky, doesn't it? I still want you to wish me luck. And I can hear you out there. You're not all wishing me luck. Oh, this one seems to be wrapped on there pretty tight compared to the others. And there we go. Yeah. I don't have the hands of a brain surgeon, that's true. Okay. So there's that lead loose. See it? Yeah. All right. So let's check the capacitance of this capacitor. '89. So we got 89, 88, 90, somewhere around in there, picofarads for the two caps on this transformer. So they're not identical. Is it possible that you could compensate with it on moving the cores? Maybe. I don't know. Now it's reading 90. Yeah, incidentally, somebody suggested a type of tester, you know, that's a really nice tester, and it has excellent, you know, capabilities, more than I would ever use. You can hook it up to your computer, it'll run traces, all kinds of cool things. You know, this was probably less than $10, you know, and it does everything I need, really. I mean, I'm not trying to criticize it, it's just that I don't have a need for all of that, and this works really great for me, and it was inexpensive. Anyway, so that's 90 picofarads. So now we know it's there. All right, so I don't have that size Mica capacitor. But what I can do is go ahead and bust this one out until I can get the right size cap. Unless I want to try to use another one in there and twizzle the core to where I can get to it. All right, so let's see. The ones on this side are running about 100, 110. The ones on this side are running about 90, 88, somewhere around there. So those are the actual measurements. You know, if you guys get an 875 and you're wondering what size capacitors in there, maybe I saved you a little bit of trouble. Maybe, because you still got to get in there and bust the old mica out and all that. But can you get there with 110s? I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. You know, now that I've determined what size was in there, I'm not really risking much by moving the cores. So I may try to see if I can come into range with it. Since the GE ones are the same, maybe it'll, you know, same part number, maybe it'll get there. All right. But in the meantime, I need to get the old caps out, so I'm going to start digging on those now. Yes, I have eye protection on because you need it. Yeah, in a lot of ways this is a little bit easier than doing it attached to the circuit board for sure, but boy, getting it out from underneath that shield on the IF tube was kind of a pain. Just heard that land on the other side of the shop. Okay. You can see also I marked, there's that one that was marked, right, marked the side here, and then also marked the tube in case it gets turned or something, put in the wrong way. I don't know if it matters. Alright, so there's a cap here, so I'm going to break it this way. I'll try to. Careful. Okay. Okay. Right. as phenolic goes shooting all over the shop, landing on the other side of the room. I see some more of that black stuff in there. Tarnish of the silver, I guess. Silver oxide, you think? It's finding its way into mischief and causing that conduction from time to time and crashing. Okay. See the two leads of the capacitor there. And the mica with the black stuff on it. Let's get those out of there. Yeah, it is easier out of the radio. That was not connected anymore. I guess I pulled it loose. We'll fix it. Okay. Now we see the mica. Need to break it so we can get it out, because I can't just slide it up. Is it mica or is this some other kind of plastic? It looks like it might be plastic. Interesting. Okay. So that must be the stuff that's doing the damage. I hope that's it. Okay, so just break those things out of the way so they're not close to the other lugs. I could probably just bend it up there like that and leave it. I'll see if I can get it loose. Oops, don't pull that up. See, that's how that whole thing can come sliding out of there. Don't want that to happen. Okay. Let's push that other one down. Good. Okay, this last one. That other one wants to come up and come out of there. Be careful with it. Okay. Okay. Nasty old caps are out of there. Now I need to rewire up the coils. Get that set up. I think this one broke. But I can see there's enough there that's stripped back. I'll be able to attach it. Okay. Guys, this is as hard as it looks. Okay. Sometimes you just gotta be patient here. If you get in a hurry, you get it all messed up. All right. Probably would be ideal for this would be like the eraser on a pencil. If a guy had an eraser on a pencil, it might be helpful. Let's see if it is. You don't really grab things so much as you just kind of push them. Hold it in position with the pencil, and then use this to just kind of shove the lead where it's supposed to go, and it kind of wraps, or J hooks it, however you want to say it, on where it's supposed to go. There we go. That's actually got a good wrap on there, believe it or not. All right. Oh, I just undid it. Oh, you suck. Couldn't leave it well enough alone, could I? Okay, let's clean this off. And go back and do it again. Dadgummit. You know what the enemy of perfect is, right? Sorry, the enemy of good enough is perfect. I made myself a nice loop there. Come on, get in there. Okay. Okay, be patient. Okay. Oh man, it wants to come off. Don't do it. That's got it. It's got a loop around it and a good solder on there. We will check its continuity. Did I already rub off the, yeah, already rubbed off which sign is where. Okay, so that's the one I just did, was right here. And it should have, goes to the lower coil and it goes across here. So let's verify we have continuity there. What do you say? Notice how that one cracked. Wonder when that happened. Surely I didn't do that. Okay. This one says it should be 19 ohms. Okay, the camera doesn't want to zoom. There you can see it. So that's this one and this one. So here to here. Come on. Come on. So I'm not getting anything. Oh, that one's not connected. Okay. Yeah, that one's not connected. Okay, we'll fix that one. Okay. So around 19 ohms is what it says on the schematic. Let's So that's this one and this one. 20 ohms. That's a success. Okay, I'll do the other one and then bring you back when I'm done. Okay, I got the other wire attached. It was actually the easiest one I've done. Sorry I missed it. But anyway. Okay, so the capacitors are here and here. Mark that again. So there's the lower one. Put an L. Although this Sharpie just gets wiped right off, doesn't it? And then here's the other one. Upper. Alright. Let's check continuity, right? So let me hold it like this. Okay, according to the schematic, they'll say 19 ohms on them. So let's see what we get on these two. Make sure we got continuity back. Here to here. 19 and a half. And from here to here. 19 and a half. Okay, that thing's put back together again. So now we'll put the shield back on it, if I can find it. There it is. Alright, let me pin this back in where it's not going to be in the way. This thing's falling apart over here. Okay. Alright, so where's my index? There it is. So this wants to go in like this. Let's see, we got this. Move that wire, it's not quite right on top of that other coil. There we go. Okay, index. Index. Okay. So now this one. Bend back down. Like that. Like that. Okay. And there's our index. Okay, let's get this thing back in. Now what I need to do is clean up the holes a little bit that it goes into. Well, they're probably okay. Let's take a quick look. Okay, so now we put our second IF can back into the board. Our index mark is here. And it needs to go into that spot there. So it's going to go in like this. Yep. Make it to where I can see. Yep, that line marks up with it. And that goes in like this. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. That's the way it goes. Okay. Right? Huh? Huh? Right. That. And now I just need to get that clip in place. Come on, you're almost there. I'll bring you back when I get this done. I'm going to have to get a few hammers out and a crowbar. Be right back. Well, all I can really say was that was a heck of an ordeal. So the problem I had was these clips going into these cans. And I had a devil of a time with this one over here. But I finally got it in. Let me make a suggestion. You guys working on one of these kind of things. When you get the can out, okay, go ahead and take this shield clip out as well. Because then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to snap it into place between that socket there that you can see, but also where it goes underneath and clips to the bottom side of the plastic that's inside of the IF can. Get that and just go ahead and clip it in, okay? And then put it through with these other 4 posts, because once that's, if you put that in separate, and then, or if it's already in there and you're trying to get that off, man, it's just a pain in the neck because you just don't really have a place where you can leverage to get that thing to grab on there. So, big suggestion if you get this, if you see this, to do it that way. All right. So I got both cans done. This one here, I was measuring 90 picofarads for these. I didn't have any 90s, so I put in some 110s. And we'll just see if I can tweak the cans into position. If not, I'll have to order or go buy some Micas in that size. I don't know that I have any locally that I can get, but I can go check. But if I'm going to try to finish this up quickly, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to try it. It's not going to hurt anything. All right, so let me get my power hooked up here. Where's my power lines? I've already got the speaker connected. See what we'll do. This one here. This one on the back side. Okay. Voltage, turn this down. Alright, so let me put some knobs on here. And the whole time when I was kind of pushing on this and everything, I was just terrified I was going to break that board in there because it's already kind of weak. Okay, this wants to go on there like this. Okay, I'm just hoping for the best here. I should get a really, if I get anything, it'll be really weak is what I'm thinking, because the IF cans are no longer aligned. But we can see if we're getting reception and if the static is still there. If it is, then I've got another noisy component somewhere. But I did the hard job of rebuilding the IF can, so we'll just see what we get. Okay, I have power is not on. So here comes power. Let me turn it down just in case I got a short. I'm going to watch the dim bulb up here. Okay, I do not see, the dim bulb is not glowing. I'm pulling 14 watts. Okay, let's bring the power up, or voltage up rather. You're watching it here, right?
Well, some warmer numbers just around the corner. Looks like mid and late week features some temps up close to 70 degrees, but it's kind of a cool out there to get things started this week. Overnight lows tonight with north winds in the upper 30s.
Pulling 22 watts.
Colder than average. Tuesday, sunshine, high 64. Wednesday, mostly sunny, high of 70.
I'm surprised I'm getting a
64,
signal,
Thursday,
I mean a
Friday.
channel through here.
I'm meteorologist Scott Larry-Moore at the Weather Channel. Clear skies and 53 at the KTRH Top Tax Defenders.
Well, we're waiting to hear the crashing start.
KTRH News Time, 11:01. Our top story: Harris County Commissioners Court debating two competing budget plans. One that includes $1.4 billion to address violent crime. Another that would trim the fat to steer more money towards police. The latter is proposed by Commissioner Jack Cagle.
We don't have to raise the taxes on the public. We just need to quit spending it like there's a fire sale for all of these extra programs.
Democrats on Commissioners Court want to give raises to these Motorola solutions.
When LeBron didn't show up.
Yeah, no, all those
he
places,
perpetrated a fraud.
He
There's
did.
still a class action
He did.
lawsuit there. I'm joining. Well, when we look at the
Guys, I think we got it fixed. The problem was the silver mica disease in the IF cans, and so we got that repaired. We opened them up. We measured. We lifted one lead each off of the coils and measured the capacitance. I didn't actually get close to what capacitance I had there. Like I said, one of them was measuring 90, and I put in 110s, and I still didn't have to adjust the slug. So I think the next thing to do is I think I'm going to change that Bumblebee capacitor out, because I'm about ready to align this, and you want to make all the changes you want to make before you do the alignment. So let me change the Bumblebee out, and then I'm not going to mess with that other capacitor. And I don't know, I may try to clean and lubricate the tuning condenser just a little bit. It's a little stiff to turn. I'll probably put some more cleaner in the volume control, and then I'll go around to doing the alignment on this. But I think what I'm going to do is just let it play for a bit. I'm getting late, kind of late tonight. I'm going to let it play for a little bit and see if the static comes back. But otherwise, I'll report back, and then we'll get into doing the alignment. I'll do all those other things before, you don't need to see all that. And then we'll get back on the alignment on this. So thanks, and have a good night.
It's not a late party town. It's not New York or Chicago where the bars are open till 4. Even if it ends at 2.
Back. This is Lee Habib, and this is Our American Stories, and we tell stories about everything here on the show, including yours. Send them to ouramericanstories.com.
Okay, I don't know if you can still see the smoke. We just had an explosion here. That was cool.